Happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen. The phrase, "there's an app for that," has become uber ubiquitous. And 90% of the time, it's pretty true. When I got my iPad, one of the first apps I got was a sheet music reading app called forScore. And still today, it remains one of my favorite apps. In order to utilize this program as it's meant to be used, you first have to have a PDF of the music you wish to read from. You can obtain PDF files all over the intertubes, but if you have paper copies of music, you're going to first have to scan it into your computer before you can use it in forScore. I have a master file in a Dropbox folder where I save all my music PDFs. No joke, I have a lot of music PDFs. In fact, the recent versions of forScore have a direct connection right inside the app directly to Dropbox. So, by pushing music PDF files from Dropbox to forScore, I can easily move files without having to be in front of a desktop or laptop. I've been using forScore as a practical music reading device for over 4 years. I was very happy to dump the zillions of binders of music that I have used as an accompanist, as a choral conductor, as a general music teacher, and as a choral singer. One of the many music jobs that I juggled as a grad student included playing and singing for funerals. These were always sensitive times for families, and musical choices were often made quickly, but were deeply personal. Sometimes the day of a funeral, a very teary-eyed individual would come up to me and say, "You know what song my mother loved?" And they would list off a tune that I typically had in my musical bank. All it took were a couple of hits of the screen to add the music to the set list. This kind of flexibility pre-iPad would not have been possible. So let me show you a few of the really cool features inside forScore. So first off, if you're just wanting to go forwards or backwards on a song, you can tap forward, and that will get you to the next page. But if you tap on the other side, it takes you backwards. You can also tap in the center and you get all the extra features, like Annotations first. That's in the backpack. And in Annotations, I have all sorts of different pens that I can use. Let's start with the red pen, and let's just say I wanted to mark, this is an important phrase. I'm going to use that as my intro, so I would mark it that way. One of the other things I really like is the ability to make set lists. That's in this one right here. I've made a bunch of set lists, which are just music in a particular order that I like. I put all my ukulele music together. So these are all the songs I have in here for ukulele. And if I want to put them in a different order, it's pretty easy. Just use the edit button on the side and drag around as I want. And if I really want, I can remove one altogether from the set list. There are a couple other extra features which are located in the backpack which are really helpful as a conductor. For example, I have this pitch pipe that if I just want to grab a pitch, it'll play me the note that I need. Another thing I have is a piano, so in case I want to plunk out a couple things. Another piece that's really helpful is the metronome. Let's go with my typical dance beat. And it's going to turn for a second, but if I want, I can actually make it visible around the whole page, or I can do an audible pulse, or even better, both. And lastly, one of the great tools I have is for big pieces of music. For example, Les Mis. Well, the score itself is actually around 400 pages. That's a little tricky to get through the pages that I need to efficiently. So instead I can set up bookmarks, and it will be just chunks of the pages inside. So if I wanted to go right to Master of the House, I could go right to the Innkeeper's Song. It'll get me where I want to. There is one thing that this app is not great for, at least not yet: band and orchestra scores. This is more of an issue of the device rather than the app. Instrumental scores are big, and condensing them down to a 9.5 by 6.5 size screen is just a problem for reading. They keep getting smaller with the iPads, and I say, bigger. Make them bigger, Apple! One where the screen size is the size of computer paper, 8.5 by 11, and another that's legal size, 11 by 17. I'm also really intrigued by the idea of an iPad book. 2 iPads folded together to work in tandem. For reading sheet music, I could have 2 screens available to me before moving forward, much like I used to when I was reading from a binder with real paper. Yeah, I used to do that. If Apple wants to work on any of these variations, I'm available to chat. They could pay me money for these ideas. I'd be cool with that. But for now, a haiku. There's an app for that. For reading my sheet music, forScore is my fave.